Good morning. I wish you welcome members of the public who are viewing live. I also recognize the Deputy Chief of Police, Mr. Geoffrey James, Superintendent Lawrence, in charge of Northern Division, Superintendent George Theophil, in charge of the CID, ASP Edwards, in charge of the Southern Division, ASP Moses, in charge of the Central Division, the head of the SSU, ASP John Charles, Inspector John Weiss, is 2IC, the head of the Special Branch and Protection, and also the Protective Unit, ASP Sebastian, ASP Healy, head of the Anti-Crime Task Force, and other rank and file of the police force. I also recognize the media. Thank you for coming. Now, this press conference is called to update you on a shooting incident which occurred on Sunday, April 27th, 2025, in Roseau, in an area commonly known as Washington Block on Old Street in Roseau. Imon Kimon Emmanuel, alias Beaver, male adult, 32 years old, and Shian Sabroch, male, 35 years old, both of Goodwill, were shot at while the two of them were standing on Old Street in the vicinity of Washington Block. They both received multiple gunshot injuries. Emmanuel succumbed to his injuries shortly thereafter, while Shian Sabroch sustained life-threatening injuries and remains a patient at the hospital. Investigations have been carried out into the shooting, and one, Jeren Sebastian alias Skibo of Belfast, Maho, has since been charged with the murder of Imon Kimon Emmanuel, attempted murder of Shian Sabroch, conspiracy to commit murder of Shian Sabroch, and conspiracy to commit murder of Imon Kimon Emmanuel. During the course of the investigations, 6 individuals were arrested, questioned, and have been released. We continue to investigate this matter vigorously and will spare no effort in ensuring that all perpetrators in this matter are brought to justice. The use of firearms in the commission of crimes is very concerning to law enforcement, and a zero tolerance approach will be adopted in tackling issues of crime and violence in Dominica. We will intensify certain aspects of our crime prevention unit or plan, and no effort will be spared in the fight against crime and reducing the fray of crime in Dominica. Additionally, I appeal and encourage all those with firearms without a license to surrender this firearm to the police. And just by way of some statistics, between the period 2020 to 2025, that is statistics where firearms have been used in the commission of crimes. In 2020, there were 7 homicides committed using firearms, and 7 shootings with intent, and 15 shootings with intent, with the use of firearms. In 2021, we had 0 homicides by use of firearms, and 6 intent to shooting with intent. In 2022, 12 homicides by use of firearms, 3 attempted murders, and 21 shooting with intent. 2023, 10 homicides, 1 attempted murder, and 15 shooting with intent. 2024, 7 homicides, 1 attempted murder, and 23 shooting with intent. For the year 2025, I shouldn't say so far, hopefully we have no more. 3 homicides by use of firearms, 2 attempted murders, and 6 shooting with intent. We will continue to take all legal means at the disposal of the police to ensure that these perpetrators are hunted down, yes, I said hunted down, and brought to justice. This nonsense has to stop. I repeat that. We will take all legal means at our disposal to ensure that the perpetrators of these heinous crimes are hunted down and brought to justice. This has to stop. It has to stop. I'm appealing to anyone with information in relation to the shooting which occurred on April 27th in Roseau to notify the police or to give us information that it has so we can bring this matter to a complete end. The numbers to call are 911, 1-800-8477, 266-5157, or 266-5185. The 1-800 number is the number for Crime Stoppers, and when you call this number, nobody asks you any question, asks your identity, and your number is not recorded. So feel free to call this number at any time. Additionally, I wish to make an announcement that the police force is requesting the assistance of the general public in locating Scott Eddie Flora of Campbell and Ramali Henry of Maho. I repeat that. Scott Eddie Flora of Campbell and Ramali Henry of Maho. These 2 persons of interest are wanted by the police force in relation to serious crimes. They are wanted in relation to serious crimes. They are considered armed and very dangerous, and no attempt must be made by the public to physically apprehend them. I repeat that. These 2 individuals are considered armed and very dangerous, and no attempt must be made by members of the public to physically apprehend them. I ask these men to surrender themselves immediately to the police without any delay. And just repeat, I am calling upon Scott Eddie Flora of Campbell and Ramali Henry of Maho to immediately surrender themselves to the police without any delay. That ends my short press brief, and I'm open to questions from members of the press if there are any questions. At the end of the press conference, you will be given copies of the people who are wanted by the police. As I said, we call upon them to surrender themselves immediately to the police. Immediately to the police. Thank you. Any questions? Or comments or anything? Yes? Good morning. I am not in a position to speak to gun amnesty. What I'll say is that we have had gun amnesties, and the results have not been very encouraging. Last amnesty, what we have, 3 firearms being surrendered, and we know there are firearms out there, and they are not prepared, from what we gather, to surrender during amnesty. But nonetheless, I'm still calling upon people who have firearms out there illegally to surrender these firearms to the police. So surrender the firearms to the police. Have no fear that if you surrender a firearm to the police, you won't be prosecuted. But we are calling upon you to surrender the firearms to the police. But just to reiterate again, we'll be be hunting them down, we'll be flushing them out, smoking them out. Again, I say this nonsense has to stop. Has to stop. Too many instances where people are using firearms to take down each other. It has to stop, and it will stop. And we'll be coming. You will see in the days coming and the months coming an increase of the presence of the police and activities in that regard to ensure that we can get rid of the streets of these firearms and the scourge that's in our society. That's it. Well, if that's it, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much for your attendance. And I said, we'll be coming, and we have to legally and lawfully to ensure that we can tackle this scourge. But it has to stop. It has to stop. Thank you, and thank you very much. And then if you want to take, we have some copies. Yes, sir. Okay. So you can take pictures of this if you wish, but we can also send you soft copies to ensure that the message goes out there that those men are wanted. And I can't tell what to do, but if you can broadcast it.